Welcome to ADK Talks, the podcast from ADK Taste, your curated guide to the best places, people, and experiences in the Adirondacks. I'm your host, Jane, along with my co-host and brother, Steve. Say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
And in each episode, we go beyond the surface to bring you the stories, insights, and hidden gems that make this region so special. Today's episode is all about one of the most dynamic and sometimes misunderstood destinations in Lake George. We're joined again by Lindsay Butler, VP of Sales and Marketing at Silver Bay, who many of you may remember from one of our earliest episodes. But today we're not rehashing the basics. We're going to go deeper into the programming, the festivals, and the dining scene that's quietly becoming one of the most interesting on the north end of Lake George. So from mountain music festivals to dockside dining delivered straight to your boat, this is Silver Bay like you've never thought about it before. Lindsay, welcome back to ADK Talks.
Thank you guys for having me. Excited to be here.
You know, for our listeners that may not have tuned into the first episode, can you say or talk about what Silver Bay YMCA Conference and Family Retreat Center is in a nutshell?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really long title. We're a little bit of everything. I would say, we're a great space for people to have a vacation, to host a wedding or a family reunion or a corporate retreat. But we're also a great place for just local community members to come in for a day and enjoy our beaches or our programming. And I know we're going to dive into all of that later. But yeah, it's not a camp. It's not a traditional YMCA, but it is a hotel style experience with so much to do.
That's awesome. I think last time we talked about it as sort of the Swiss Army knife of destinations.
That's right.
There's so much to do. There's the lodging and a variety of lodging, plus dining experiences. And I know you don't want to liken it to a summer camp, but I kind of think it's like summer camp for families and adults, a little bit on steroids. I mean, there's everything from sailing to pickleball to archery to hikes to arts and crafts. I mean, it's really amazing, everything that you guys offer.
Thank you. Yeah, we're really excited about that. I guess it could be kind of summer camp-ish, but like you said, on steroids. And it's, with beaches and a higher ropes course and just things for everybody to do. So I'm excited to dive more into that for sure.
Awesome. Silver Bay's been around for a long time. How has it evolved into what it is today?
Well, it has been around for a long time. It's been a little bit of everything, I like to joke, but we were originally privately owned, and then it had transitioned to various owners, and Silas and Mary Payne were really the two who owned Silver Bay prior to it becoming what it is today. And we still have their house on property, and it can be sold to large families. So that's kind of fun. But Silas Payne was an oil executive, and he had purchased the property and he really started to expand it. And then in 1904, they sold it to what is now Silver Bay, and it was sold for about half of its worth. And we've expanded. We've done everything from a boys' school, years and years and years ago. We were the first Boy Scouts encampment camp, and that happened at Silver Bay. And now we really are a conference center, a place for spiritual gatherings, and, a community hub. So yeah, it's been a little bit of everything for over 100 years.
And it just for our listeners, who might not be familiar with Silver Bay is actually a destination, and it's the name of your facility, but it's north of Bolton Landing. So if you are familiar with Lake George or only know Lake George Village, this is at the northern end of Lake George, probably closer to Ticonderoga than it is to Lake George Village or Glens Falls. And personally, it's one of my favorite parts of the lake because it is serene. And it's just beautiful. I think people forget that Lake George is 32 miles long, and it's really special.
Yeah, people definitely do forget. I also really love the northern end of the lake. There is something that is a bit more quiet about it. I mean, while you do see some boats out on the water, if you have your boat up here, it's not the same amount of traffic. So, yeah, it's a little quieter, definitely a lot more to see in terms of mountains and nature. So, we really love it up here.
All right, so let's talk about what's happening now and what's new and exciting in your 2026 into 2027 programming because you're open year round.
Yeah, we're definitely a year-round destination. Winter is not as busy as spring, summer, and fall, but we do offer programming throughout the course of the year. So whether you're just looking to come up and snowshoe and enjoy a lovely dinner in the winter season, you can do that. Or if you want to be kayaking and sitting at the beach and doing the high ropes course and eating at our seafood night, then summer is definitely the time for you. So there's a little bit for everyone throughout each season.
That's awesome. I know that one of your signature events is the Mountain Music Festival. What can people expect from that experience? And when does that happen?
Yeah, so the Mountain Music Festival, it happens every September. This year, it starts on September 11th and runs through the 13th, so Friday through Sunday. And throughout that, you get to experience live shows in our historic auditorium, which is pretty fascinating and just a spectacular space. And then we also do porch sessions, which allow people to interact with artists kind of in an intimate setting on our historic porch on the inn. And this year, new is we're doing campfire sessions. So we're really bringing the uniqueness of Silver Bay, and we're having campfires down by the lake. And you'll be able to listen to some of these artists sitting around a campfire. And honestly, what is better than that?
That's cool.
It's sort of a quintessential Adirondack experience to be around a campfire and sing along or listen to music. That's awesome.
Yes, we're super excited about that piece of it.
All right, Lindsay, now that we've teased that, I know this is early, Jane, for me to come up with this, but why don't we give out your website so we can, people can start referencing that as we go along?
I would love that. Yeah. So our website is www.silverbay.org. So please go there. Under events, you can see the things that are coming up, and we have information about our programs and our dining experiences. And of course, you can book a room.
Yeah. It's jam-packed with information. One of the things that you talked about last time around, and I'm so glad it's continuing, is the evenings of dance, which feels unique for the Adirondacks. What's the story behind the evolution of that program?
Yeah, the evenings of dance definitely is something unique, especially to the Adirondacks. It started with basically what it does. It brings dancers from some of the most renowned professional institutions in the US together, and they perform for 2 nights at Silver Bay on our historic auditorium stage. And that started, it's kind of fascinating. So one of the principal dancers who has been here each year actually used to come to Silver Bay as a camper as a kid, and they were able to work with a local individual who is the donor for the event, and they sponsor them to be here to perform. And it's kind of a way of giving back to a place that they both love and bringing something so enriching to the North Country. And it is free and open to the community on both nights. This year, it's August 14th and 15th. And folks can just, once we provide the link, it will be up on the website. You can certainly go on and register. We do like people just to register in advance, so we don't oversell the space, even though it's free. But yeah, you get to come see some unique pieces and experience something really neat.
I know you don't want to name names, but listener, if you can think about some of the most premier dance companies in the US, that's who's coming to this event. So it's really a special thing. I remember the New York City Ballet would spend 3 weeks every summer in SPAC. Now I think it's like 4 days. But as a kid, that had a huge influence on me. I took ballet lessons for a long time, having seen that. And I think that dance is such an amazing art. I think this is an incredible, just my own personal plug for evenings of dance. But I think it's such a cool event. You also have, in addition to the Mountain Music Festival, you have a summer concert series. What kind of vibe and talent are you bringing in for that?
Yeah, it's definitely a vibe and I highly recommend. So, the summer concert series is going to bring in everyone from the Wolf Sisters. Their music is what they consider genre defying, but rooted in traditional rock and Americana storytelling. We also will be bringing back the Gibson Brothers.
Oh, wow.
The Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra performs each year. And again, it's so neat to see any artist perform on a historic stage. It is such a neat space. And then we'll also have Reese Fulmer and the Carriage House Band and just so many more performers. It starts June 20th and it runs every Saturday until September 5th. And all concerts start at 8 p.m. except the Glens Falls Symphony Orchestra starts at 7:30. That information is available on our website. And again, these are free and open to the community thanks to a generous donor. So please come enjoy it.
I don't want to get off on a tangent. Steve and I, since last time we spoke, have really developed a lot of discipline around not getting off on a tangent. But
no, we haven't.
We just had Adirondack Architectural Heritage on the podcast, and that actually their second time on. And I just want to, you mentioned the theater a couple of times, or the auditorium. Silver Bay has a number of historic buildings and really architecturally significant buildings. You just have some really, everything from some of, your spiritual places to the gym, where Naismith, who some say is the father of basketball, actually taught that sport, and the lines painted on the floor, the original ones, which don't match up to a basketball court today. I know I'm full of trivia stuff.
I love it.
So I think it's really, in addition to all the other things we've talked about, it's just another dimension. It's really a beautiful campus, if you will.
Yeah, it is something that we're really proud of is the architecture on the property. We have one of the last historic boathouses on the property. We still have the dock that old steamboats would pull into. You mentioned our gymnasium. We have Payne Hall, which is where Mary and Silas Payne lived. Yeah, we have the historic inn, so many buildings on property that are on the historic register. And yeah, we're, slowly and surely improving some of those buildings. They're all beautiful, by the way. But, just adding in what we're trying to do is add in a few modern touches, but still keep that historic architecture and the thing that makes them so special. You just don't see things like that anymore.
Yeah.
Especially not sitting on a beautiful lake.
Exactly.
Also true.
Exactly. And you have some, your hotel's pretty modern. And so you've got great amenities as well. Okay. Sorry. Off the tangent. On our events calendar, we also feature the big seasonal moments like Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day. You guys have that covered too, even Halloween. How do those weekends come to life at Silver Bay?
Yeah, I will say it is a lot of planning and a lot of love and care through our program team, and really all of our departments chip in various ways. 4th of July is a really fun one at Silver Bay. We do the shortest 4th in the North parade. It literally starts at our administration building, and it's a maybe 400-meter parade. It wraps around to the in circle, and our guests come on property, and the staff, we have floats, and and the kids camp, the day camp makes signs, and we throw candy, and the fire department comes, and it really is kind of a special tradition. For Memorial Day, we do your standard, the pie eating contest and the old school, the 3-legged race and all of the super fun things. Our food service team puts out barbecues, especially for 4th of July. We have fireworks displays, donated through wonderful donors, and we will make sure to have signs up honoring them. We really just try to make it fun and special. Halloween has become a staff favorite. So we take Payne Hall and we each department or people can volunteer to decorate a space, and we do a haunted house. And it is truly terrifying. And I don't like being scared, so I'm not in on
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
so many people love it. It has become something that people are like, are we doing it again this year? The community is like, are you doing it again this year? Yeah, we just try to make it kind of special, however we can add something and utilize what we have. And it makes our staff happy too to be able to do different things. So yeah, if you are around on a holiday, come on up.
That's awesome. And I want to underscore this. Your programming is meant both for your guests and the community. So people, you don't have to stay there to experience some of this great stuff, which I think is really special, because I can think of other places, I'm not going to name names, where if you're not a guest, you really can't partake. And sometimes that's for good reasons, just for capacity's sake. But you guys have a lot of capacity. And I think it's wonderful how you welcome in the community, and you're able to welcome in the community. So that's great.
Thank you. Yeah, something we're really proud of.
And again, listener, all this stuff is on their website. You just talked about barbecue, so let's shift into dining, because this feels like maybe a big evolution for you guys, even from last time we spoke. I know this spring, or earlier, late winter, you did a series called Dinners Around the World. What inspired that? Well, what is it and what inspired that?
Yeah. So, what inspired it is our chef, Anthony Basili, came to me and said, hey, do you think if we tried doing dinners from various places around the world, people would come? And I was like, I would. So yeah, I think so. And so Tony, and then his food service team. So our chef, John, and our front of house banquets manager, Elper, and one of our front of house managers, Rebecca, they really brought this to life. So John was curating menus and ordering the food, and they were practicing what they were going to be serving. Elper and Rebecca made sure that we had beautiful wines, white and red, and we had an assortment of things you could order. And really, every week we visited a new destination for 12 weeks. So everything from Greece to Brazil to China to where else did we go? France. It was just menus inspired by various locations, and they were insanely delicious. You could order in, and some of our staff would also get to-go meals. So I was able to take some home and try them, but I attended the Greece night, and it was phenomenal. People raved about it. People came back week after week. We had little custom passports, and we had stickers for each country that you visited.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and on the tables, we had facts about each country so that you could learn about where you were eating or the spices they use and why. And so it was really an amazing experience. And we had over 600 visitors to that event, and over 50% of those diners were new diners to our restaurant series. So that's really exciting.
That's definitely exciting. There are many great restaurants in the Adirondacks, and we tend to lean into sort of hearty American fare. And I think that's because people are so active up here. I miss, having moved here from a large metropolitan area, I miss Korean, or I miss really good ethnic food. So when I hear about stuff like that, we were talking with the folks at New Vita Preserve up in Jay, and their chef is really leaning into bringing different cultural traditions into their menu. That's truly differentiating, and I don't know how I missed it, but it's when you do it again, I'm going to be one of those people too, one of the 600. During the summer, you guys are continuing to do Bites at the Bay, which is a cool concept. Can you tell our listeners how that works?
Yeah, so Bites at the Bay is another unique concept brought by our food and beverage director, Anthony. So basically, folks, there will be a QR code or a website folks can visit. And if you're out on your boat and you're enjoying the lake, as we all want to be, you can place an order right on your phone. You can go on the website, simply order. You never have to call. You can place your order. And then we will send you a message when your order is ready. You can pull up to our visitor dock at Silver Bay, and our team actually bring the food right to your boat. So you never have to get off your boat. You never have to stop enjoying the sun or the water. And it's a pretty robust menu. We're just finalizing it now, but there's light fare, there's heavy options, great shareable pieces. So yeah, it's a really neat experience. And like I said, you never have to leave your boat. So there's no inconvenience. You just have to pull in and let us bring you some great, delicious food.
I love that. It's like a on-water drive-through.
It is. That's literally exactly what it is. I mean, you have to park for a minute, but you're basically driving through.
Yeah, of course.
You're boating through,
Yeah, you're boating through. There's way worse things to have to do.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just curious, is it all kinds of boats? Do you see, like pontoons and motorboats, but what about a sailboat? Have you, can they sail in?
Yeah, they can certainly sail in. We generally see mostly motorboats, pontoon boats, but you could certainly sail in. I mean, I guess you could even kayak in if you really wanted to get crazy, but why not?
Why not? Why is this kind of offering all these different options really especially important on the north end of Lake George?
Yeah, I think it's important not only to give our guests on site an interesting and fun experience that differs from maybe other places they've been, but I think it's important for the community too to have options and, to get them excited and to come out and to see Silver Bay and to eat from France and to be able to stop their boat and get something easy to pick up. But I'll say it's also really important to our staff. I mean, we have some literal culinary geniuses on this team, and the way that they get to express themselves is through food. That's their art. And so it's important for us as an organization to support them in being able to try these different dishes or options. And that kind of allows them the freedom to express themselves. And that's important to us as an organization. And I do want to mention, if it's okay, that the dinners from around the world were hosted through our Mountain View Grill restaurant, which is actually open year round. And so year round, it's not always the dinner from around the world series. There is more of a set menu. But then come the summer season on Wednesdays, we'll actually be doing seafood nights as well. And you can go right on our website and book tables through our open table platform and make reservations anytime. So you, again, don't have to be a member or a guest staying on site to come dine at the restaurant. And I really think you'll be impressed with the food. It's pretty exceptional.
That's awesome.
Lindsay, let's give your website again because we keep referencing it we only said it once.
Yeah. So head to www.silverbay.org and we have an events calendar and we have sections just for our dining or our mountain music festival. So you can find all your information at silverbay.org.
And I'm sure that'll be in the show notes, right, Jane?
Yes, it will, Steve. Thank you. I'll make sure that happens.
Just check.
You guys are wonderful.
We are.
We aim to please. I really was not familiar with Silver Bay until I moved up here. And actually, our very first guest, Paul Nazrani from Adirondack Creamery, pointed it out and just raved about it. And I think it's sort of like the best kept secret on Lake George. How do you see Silver Bay sort of fitting into the broader Adirondack ecosystem or Lake George region ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a great question. Aside from trying to do our part environmentally, which we know is so important in the lake, for the lake and the Adirondacks, I think offering experiences for people in the northern end of the lake, in the Adirondacks, and their cultural experiences. And I think that that's something that we're really proud of. So through the evenings of dance or the music festival or the dining experiences, it's really important for us to be kind of a cultural hub and to be able to provide that on the northern end of the lake. So I think that's how we fit in. There is a lot of that in Lake George Village and further south, but to be able to be one of the places that's doing that on the northern end is really special to us and something that we're very proud of.
We've talked about a lot of the tradition and historic aspects of Silver Bay. How do you balance that tradition with innovation in a place that has so much history?
It does have a lot of history. It's actually funny. Next year, we're celebrating our 125th anniversary. So there will be more on that to
Wow.
come, through historic ideas and a gala experience. But that's really our theme, actually, is kind of what you said, is honoring the past, but embracing the future. And so I think we do that through, even when we're making renovations to buildings, respecting the historic architecture, respecting what has been. And even as we plan this 125th, we've brought all different generations together to help plan this so that we can make sure we're honoring old traditions, or maybe something we didn't even know existed, bringing honor to that. And still, though, embracing what people are looking for in the future. The goal is never to change Silver Bay completely, maybe offer some modern amenities to folks in their accommodations or through our restaurants and some of the experiences, but keeping the beauty of the lake and our current footprint, like, that's important to us, is to maintain what we have and modernize it at times, but show respect when we're doing it. So I don't even know if that fully answers your question, but
No, it actually, I was thinking, was as you were talking and I was listening to what you're saying, that's a common theme, I think, in the Adirondacks.
yeah,
People want to make sure that we're preserving all the natural benefits, the historic places, the great camps, the fire towers. But at the same time, we have to evolve.
yeah,
So, making sure people have Wi-Fi, or not even Wi-Fi, making sure people have internet up here,
yeah,
making sure housing is affordable. All of those things are really important. And it's sometimes a tension because people, they fall in love with the place. I mean, I remember last time we spoke, you talked about guests returning and families returning for multiple generations. And I think you're booking your cottages for 2027 right now. So I think when you have all that heritage, sometimes people don't want to see things change. So I think you're doing, as you described it, I think you're doing a great job of kind of striking the right balance between honoring the past and looking ahead to the future too.
thank you.
If someone is going to come to Silver Bay for the first time, what should they absolutely not miss?
There's so many things. Yeah, I think for me, it's booking a room and trying things. So it's so difficult because for me, I love kayaking. My husband loves pickleball, and we have beautiful pickleball courts, and we have people who are in love with tennis, and we have some of the best views for tennis. So I feel like it's just, come and try it. Come and experience what Silver Bay is. We have the Squire Studio, which, people think of YMCA and they hear arts and crafts, and I think they think, well, we're going to build a popsicle stick house, and it is not. It's like stained glass and silversmithing and just amazing pieces that you can take home or make as a family. So I think it's just coming and trying something new if you've never done it before.
I know you're not going to be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is there a best time of year to experience Silver Bay?
Yes, there. I mean,
Ooh, she can.
Oh, good. I love it.
it's all year, but no, I mean, and I'm biased. My favorite time of year will always be the fall. And I
Sure.
truly think it's just because the colors, the insane landscapes and the oranges and the reds and the hiking trails, and just, it's so nice during the day and you get the cool nights. So I'm very partial to the fall season, but really there's something special being in the Adirondacks in the winter, spring, or summer season. And there's something for, if you like different things, then different seasons are for you. I just have always loved fall, and my birthday's in the fall, so I think that's why. But
Yeah. I'll tell you what, my least favorite season is the spring. I don't like mud season, and I'm just like, you're seeing the bare trees, and I'm like, I just want the leaves to come out. But I think that's something that Silver Bay can offer at that time of year, because you have all these other activities and things happening that even when it's maybe not the best conditions for the winter sports, and it's not warm enough yet to swim. I mean, even boating, if it's a chilly day and the wind is howling, like, you don't want to be out in the middle of a lake. But you guys have so many other things going on. I think that's amazing.
And I will say one neat thing about the spring season that I've come to love, because I have also always been the mud and, joking around, I have 3 dogs, so mud season is just a lot. Um, but if you're uncomfortable with hiking, maybe in the winter season, hiking in the spring is neat in a sense that you have views almost the entire way because the leaves are not on the trees. You can see the lake, or you can see things that I've done hikes before that I've done 10 times, and then I do them in the spring before all the leaves are back. I'm like, I didn't even know you could see the lake from here. So it is kind of a neat experience. But I still, gosh, I love the fall.
Yeah, it's right. And I think the thing about the fall, and again, tangent alert, is that it can be cloudy and not sunny, and it's still beautiful because of the vibrant colors.
Yes.
I'm with you. Fall's my favorite season too. We've talked about all these, the Mountain Music Festival, the Dance Festival. How far in advance should people be planning for some of these major events or weekends? And I know it's free, but does it, quote unquote, sell out? It's not infinite capacity.
It is not infinite. We have sold out during evenings of dance. I would say there's never a wrong time to start planning. If you're looking to come to Mountain Music Festival, you can book your rooms and purchase your tickets right online at silverbay.org right now. And as more information about evenings of dance comes out, you'll be able to go right on the website and book that as well. I think if you can plan further out, that's wonderful. But also, if you have to make last minute plans because you have other things going on, you shouldn't have to miss out. So you should still be able to make a reservation or, come to the evenings of dance, even if you have to book the week before. So, we understand that people have things going on. Sooner is always better for planning purposes. But if you can't, we understand too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good. And I will make sure I'm trying to get our summer calendar of events up, and because I know people are planning right now. So I'm going to make sure that those events make it into our calendar sooner rather than later. Are there any under the radar events or experiences that deserve more attention?
Oh, I feel like you've done a really good job of bringing to light the bites at the Bay. You're welcome. And the Mountain Music Festival, I would just say that we are constantly trying new things, and we've added in some new program pieces. So we have a high ropes course now. Our pickleball courts are still fairly new. But yeah, I think, like I said before, if you come and just give things a shot, you may find something that you love that you didn't know about. But yeah, I think, there's just so much going on, but you've done a good job of hitting the major ones. So.
Well, I try and do my homework, so that's good. And also we can mention too, you can be a member of Silver Bay. So if you live in the community and you're looking for a place to work out, or you want to play pickleball regularly, you can join Silver Bay and be a member and take advantage of all those facilities as well.
Absolutely. And even if you are down further south or even further north and you want to come in for a day, you can certainly just purchase a day pass for yourself or for your family to experience all of the things that we have going on. You can make your reservation at a restaurant, or you can purchase a meal ticket and just eat in our dining room for any of our standard meals. But yeah, you don't have to be a member, but you can, and we would love that. Or you can just come for an overnight or for a day. We try to meet you where you are. So come join us.
That's great. And, again, I don't want to overgeneralize, but, there's something for everybody in the Adirondacks, whether you love hiking and boating and kayaking like you do, Lindsay, or you want to do some cool crafts, silversmith and create something out of stained glass. I mean, Silver Bay really epitomizes that. I've been to places in the Adirondacks where I've blown glass, or done stuff like that. So I like that Silver Bay is sort of like a microcosm of that Adirondack experience. It's sort of cool.
It's a neat way to phrase it. I like that.
Lindsay, I'm going to have to start charging you for marketing advice. I gave you the Swiss Army knife. Now I've given you something new. So
you do.
I'm kidding. Well, this has been super informative, and thank you so much for sharing what's new and happening at Silver Bay. I hope that our listeners from near and far will take advantage of it. In sort of closing, Lindsay, help us sort of understand how Silver Bay is differentiated from some of the more traditional places to stay in the Adirondacks or on Lake George in particular.
Yeah. I mean, so many of the resorts and the hotels all have stunning views. There's really no shortage when it comes to places to stay. I do think one thing that makes Silver Bay different is that we are YMCA. So we are a nonprofit organization and we do give back in various ways. And just to name a few, we do have our respite programs, which provide respite to individuals going through certain things or as a thank you for their occupation. So, we have pastoral respite, cancer respite, military R&R, foster and adoptive families, first responder respite. And we also have a Vacations Made Possible program. So if, you're looking on our website and you think maybe that building is a little too pricey for me and my family, you can certainly just go to a drop down, fill out some information and qualify for a discount to come to Silver Bay. We also operate a teen center in Ticonderoga, and it is free for teens and it operates during the school year. They can come after school and play games with their friends, learn life skills. So our chef, our food and beverage director, Anthony, goes up there and he'll teach cooking classes, or they can get homework help. But it's a great space for kids to go after school. And we are also now operating the Ticonderoga Community Early Learning Center. So it is an curriculum-based daycare facility for kids 6 weeks to 5 years. So we're really trying to help offer childcare in the area for businesses and families. And so, it's not just staying at a hotel. You're putting your money towards something that is going to go back into a community. And we appreciate everyone who comes and stays or visits, and we thank you.
That's amazing. It's really the impact you have, not just to the people coming into the region, but also the people living here. So
thank you.
Well, this has been great. I've loved catching up with you, Lindsay. We might have to make this an annual thing because it's so much fun. But as you may recall, at the end of every episode, we like to ask our guests about their favorite places or hidden gems in the Adirondack. I think last time you mentioned Crane Mountain, so you can't say that. But do you have another gem or favorite spot that you can share with our listeners? And as you know, it can be anything. It can be a hike, a museum, a camping spot, a place to get a great ice cream cone. What's one of your favorite places? And it's okay if you have more than one and you can't say Silver Bay.
Okay, Steve and Jane, this question kept me up because I was like, what am I going to say? There's so many amazing places. But I will always pick a hiking trail, and that'll always be my vibe. And so this time I picked Black Mountain. And yes, Black Mountain, for those that don't know, is located on the eastern side of the lake. I've hiked it in every season and it has yet to disappoint. It has stunning views. It's more on the northern end. You can actually see the pavilion on Silver Bay's beach from the top. It's not necessarily the easiest hike, but it is. When you get up to the top, you'll realize why it is a hidden gem and it is my favorite. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
Thanks. I think we've written about Black Mountain on the website. I'm now at the point where I don't remember everything that we have on our website, but that's a great one to add to the list of hidden gems. Steve, we should do a page of, as seen on TV, as mentioned on ADK Talks, of our hidden gems.
Wait, that's a really cool idea.
One more thing for us to do. Well, Lindsay, thanks again for being such a great and entertaining guest. And we hope to see you this summer at Silver Bay, and wish you guys a fantastic summer season. But you've given us so many ideas of things to do, in the fall and the winter. And we didn't even really talk about winter because you guys do a winter carnival too.
We do. We call it Winter Weekend, and it's in February. And we do all kinds of things. So it's We do sled bowling where we have the big inflatable bowling pins and you're sledding down.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we cookie decorating, and we do indoor and outdoor activities, family movie nights, and on inflatable screens we do nighttime campfires and walks under the stars. So yes, Silver Bay always has something going on, but visiting the website is definitely the best way to find out any information about upcoming events.
That's awesome.
Your website is?
Thank you. silverbay.org. So visit it now.
All right, Lindsay. Well, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you out there.
Yes, I hope I see you guys soon. I just want to take a second to thank you guys for all you're doing for businesses and different organizations. And I love the podcast, but I really just wanted to sincerely thank you for having us on again.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
And we didn't pay her. She's not related to us.
This is not an ad. I just love it.
How
Recommend
sweet.
it.
Yeah. Public service announcement for adktaste.com. So much going on at Silver Bay. That's amazing. What a cool story.
Yeah. No, and while we were talking about it, and she was talking about, the dancers from all over the world.
I know you're looking forward to that.
Well, you might be surprised, but no, I probably won't be attending that. But it occurred to me that, and I looked this up when we were talking, that the Seagull Festival is 36 miles away, basically, by car. But as the crow flies, it's less than 20, I'm sure. But to have so much international talent, really so close to you.
That's a really good point.
In the eastern side of the Adirondacks is quite amazing.
It is amazing. And the Mountain Music Festival is a big deal. It's a really cool event. And even not related to Silver Bay, but I'm always really impressed with the talent that they bring in to Lake George Village in their summer concert series. Again, it's in Shepherd Park. It's all free. They bring in, it's not Coachella, but, these people, many of them are sort of Grammy award-winning artists in the categories that maybe don't make it onto primetime TV, but are still, notable and really talented folks. And that's all free in Shepherd Park. And the Lake George Jazz Festival, which happens in September, is also, again, much of it is free to the public, and they're bringing top talent. So we may seem remote, but the Adirondacks, and I could go on about other regions in the Adirondacks that bring in amazing talent, but I'm, up in Essex County at the Mill, at the Grange.
Oh, that's a podcast all in itself.
Oh, we've gotten a lot of ideas for podcasts. All right, listener. So maybe we're whetting your appetite for some future content, but thank you for tuning in to ADK Talks today. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can find more conversations like this at adktaste.com, your guide to the best of the Adirondacks. And be sure to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on your favorite platform. It really helps other people discover the show and find out about all the great parts of the Adirondacks.
Yes, it does.
And if you're on our website, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter for a weekly dose of Adirondack stories, food, and events. That's you getting the inside knowledge before the rest of the world. And what do we also ask people to do, Steve?
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, wanderings, whichever you want to share with us, you can do so at info@adktaste.com.
Awesome. Yeah. And we may answer your question on the air. As we mentioned earlier, we're going to have a reader mailbag episode coming up shortly. But we'll probably tape that before this episode debuts. But, we do like to answer the questions periodically. So you never know. You could be featured on air. And I think that's a wrap, Steve.
Yep. I'm ready to go.
So until next time, listener, we'll see you out there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.